Hello, friends. Hello, hello. Happy Thursday if you're watching this live time. My name is Lindsay Dollinger, and I'm here to give you a little bit of biz tip, a little motivation. So, if you are a listener of my podcast, which is the Purpose and Pixie Dust podcast, Mondays generally I do some sort of a teaching episode where you're really going to get like a lot of information, a lot of things that you can bring into your business, or I interview an inspiring woman, sometimes a man, who shares their story of entrepreneurship, and we learn along the way with them. And Thursdays is Biz Tip Thursday. Well, a lot of my Biz Tip Thursdays are short, actionable tips, like less than 10-minute episodes, or I share a quick story of something that's happened this week, or I share mindset. So today, this obviously isn't the actual podcast. You can listen to the podcast for today. The podcast for today was a song from Frozen 2. And I apply that to life and business. So I actually think it's really fun. So make sure you listen to that. It's a really short episode. But there's something that is kind of a theme that has been coming up with some of the women that I work with. And that was also a huge mindset shift for me. And that I also get to remind myself as well when growing my business. And it was something that when I heard this for the first time, the idea of it was so contrary to what I had been taught. So if you've been in the entrepreneur space for any amount of time, you will hear all the time, like, be the CEO of your business, right? So if you have heard that before and you're watching this live or replay, tell me in the comments if you've heard that before. But it's always be the CEO, right? Step into that leadership role, be the CEO, know your things that you're going to do, blah, 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 be the CEO. I 100% agree with that. But I also think as an entrepreneur, you also get to be an employee in your business. Tell me if you've ever heard that, because I bet it's fewer people who have heard be an employee of your business versus be a CEO. And so I want to explain what that means to me and how I think of that. So we get to be both, which is kind of cool if you think of it. So we get to set our expectations though for ourselves, but then we also get to show up that way. So I just want you to think of like a traditional 9 to 5 job. And I'm still a high school Spanish teacher. So, I have my work day, right? So my work day, my like actual scheduled hours that I have to be in the building, 7:15 to 2:45. I get a half an hour for lunch. I get a certain amount of minutes for my planning period a week. And then otherwise I'm to fulfill the duties of teaching. And there's like a whole list of duties for teaching. I think a lot of times, if you are like me, especially when we are feeling unmotivated, raise your hand if you've ever felt unmotivated. I think that's everyone. We have to switch from motivation driving us to our dedication and our discipline driving us. And to do that, I find it's easier to think as an employee, like, okay, what am I expected to do today? How do I get to show up for my clients? How do I show up for myself? How do I show up for my business? How do I show up for CEO me? Right. And so that is what has to come into place and drive you on those days where you're not feeling motivated, or on those days where you have all this kind of crap going on. So I'll just give you an example. Last week was just a really hard emotional, I had a lot of stuff going on. I spent over 9 hours at the vet with my dog. And it's an hour away. So 11 hours away from home. And then the stress along with that, throughout the day. And then the next day I had jury duty, which was equally long and more tragic to me. It's a long story. And yeah, I had to move some things around. Like I actually canceled a podcast interview and I had to move it around, and I had to cancel a one-on-one client and move her around. And I'll be honest, like at the end of those days, I was feeling drained and I didn't want to do a lot of the things that I was either slotted to do, in for example, I had to on Wednesday night edit a podcast because it was going out for you guys to listen to the next morning. And I really want to stay consistent in that. And I had the podcast all ready to go. It was going to take 5 or 10 minutes of my time to do. So I had to do it. And so those are those things that if you're thinking of yourself in the employee mindset, even when stuff kind of hits the fan, or even when you're having those days where you're not feeling like showing up, I want to encourage you to really dig into, you've heard it, your why. Why are you doing this? What is driving you behind your business? Think about the people that you're impacting, but also maybe switch roles from the CEO. So if I switched from CEO to employee Lindsay, like, okay, well, I still have to do these tasks today. They're kind of like your non negotiables, right? Your business minimums, per se, that I'm expected to do, or I'm not showing up for myself. And so, what happens as an employee if we're not showing up or we don't do our tasks? You get fired. You get fired, or you get, your role gets changed or things like that. So, how would you rate yourself if CEO you was rating yourself as employee you? How would they rate you? So doing that really honest like self-assessment, how would you rate yourself right now on, the quality of how you're showing up, the quality of how you're using your time, right? So if you think of your boss, if you have had like what's it called? Like a review and you've gone in and you've talked about things, they're going to ask you those things. How is your attendance? Are you professional? Those are things that at least that come up for us as teachers. In addition to, are we doing the curriculum and blah blah blah, all this other extra stuff? Are you collaborating with others? So, maybe start making a list of those things if you don't know your daily minimums or you don't have those expectations yet for yourself. Being really honest in, okay, if these are my goals and this is like my vision and my mission for my company, for, whatever you are building, how do you get to show up every day and what's that going to look like? And that small mindset tweak, I don't want you to step down from the CEO role, but you get to do both. And I think you can compartmentalize when you're showing up as each one, if that makes sense. So I don't know if that helps you or not, but if you are going through a period of time where you have a lot of rough stuff, you're going through a period of time where you're feeling unmotivated, you're feeling drained. I mean, it is winter. If you are in like the northern part of the United States, or somewhere else in the world where it is cold and dreary right now, or you have a season like that. I mean, we see the sun like once every 15 days in Ohio right now. It's snowing outside. It's gross. And it can be really hard to make myself show up for things, but it's that discipline and reminding yourself that, hey, if you don't show up for you in your business, who else is? Right? No one else is going to show up for you the way you can show up for you. So this is your time. So show up and make CEO version of you proud by being an awesome freaking employee for your business and see if that mindset shift helps you. So tag a friend in this, let a friend know that they need to watch this because I have a feeling that you might not have heard that twist on things before. Bella, she's getting in toys and like making a mess over there. But I have a feeling that you have not. That's my dog, by the way. It's not a child. But you haven't heard that, version of it before. And I know that really helps me, especially on days where I'm like, I just want to watch Netflix. Yeah, but how do I have things that I have to get done today and then I can watch the Netflix, right? Because I have big goals and dreams and a mission and a vision for myself and for my business. And I'm pretty sure that you do too. So go out there, create and own your magic. And I will talk to you so soon. I am rooting for you.